Good afternoon to all the viewers and welcome back to ICCA Live, world-class culinary online. Today's session is on bread, on the trending squidding focaccia. I would now hand over to our host, Shanaz Raja, Director of Courses at the ICCA Dubai. Over to you, Shanaz.
Thank you, Karan. The smell of freshly baked bread, an enticing experience, really. Today, Chef Sally Handoko from our Faculty of Bakery and Patisserie is going to start us on an exciting new journey on making bread. And if you already bake bread, then there are quite a few new tips that you can pick up from her. I wouldn't call Sally a chef. She's a magician who makes magic out of flour, salt, yeast, and water. If there are any of our students on this webinar, they will know just what I'm talking about. Every Saturday, starting today, and for the next 3 weeks, Sally is going to show us different kinds of bread, from lean to enriched to laminated and the most sought after sourdough. For those of you who are with us for the first time, a very quick intro on ICCA. The International Center for Culinary Arts in Dubai is an internationally renowned vocational education training center delivering professional and personal education in cookery, bakery, and patisserie. During this webinar, our questions to you will pop up as polls for you. And if you have any questions for Chef Sally, do type them into your chat, and I will take them up with Sally for you. Chef Sally, the camera is on you.
Thank you, Miss Anand. Hello, my name is Sally. Hello, friends. Hello, family. Hello, students. Welcome to our webinars. My name is Sally. I'm from Indonesia. 14 years experience in industry at ICCA. This is my 3rd year as a chef instructions and pastry and baking. Okay, let me introduce you, Sanat.
Hello everyone, my name is Sanat. I'm from Jordan. I'm a model. That's why I was privileged to be allowed to keep my beard. And thank you to Mr. Sanjay for allowing me. I think I'm the only one in ICCA who's allowed right now. Baking has always been my passion. And so I decided to learn at pastry professionally to add to my skills. It's been truly magical, and amazing things that I've learned here are beyond description. And thank you so much, and back to you, Chef Sally.
Isn't he handsome? I'm lucky today. Now, we start, yeah? As Ms. Shana said, 4 webinars it will be with me, okay, with different types of bread. Today, we're gonna learn how to make lean dough bread. What is lean dough bread? Lean dough bread is the dough bread that have a little bit of oil in it, okay? It's what we call squid in focaccia. Okay, what is focaccia? Focaccia is Italian flatbread, okay, made with a lean dough. Okay, that's it. Okay. Now I'll start to introduce you what is the most important to make a bread. Bread can be made for 4 ingredients, yeah, but to make them consistent, it's very difficult. That need a learning process, non-stop learning process. Okay, now I'm gonna start with bread flour. Why we need to have a bread flour is because we need high gluten protein inside the bread flour. Because we need some air bubbles inside your bread. That gluten can hold the air. Okay, and then we have honey here. You can use sugar to replace, or you can completely ignore it. Okay, we have yeast here. I'm using dry instant yeast. In industry, we know 3 types of yeast. One, instant dry yeast. Second, active dry yeast. And the third one is fresh yeast. Well, if you have at your home only dry active yeast, you can use the same amount. But if you have fresh yeast, just cut them into 2. Example, we have how many grams in it?
3 grams.
3 grams, then you need to use 1.5 grams. Okay? And the water. Water also very important. Don't ever make a cake with a warm, don't ever make a bread with a warm water. Cold water is the best. Okay. Now here there is a small amount, 50% of the bread flour. I change it with whole wheat flour. Not because it's healthy, just because I like the nutty taste aroma in your bread. Okay. Salt. You need to measure the salt correctly because the salt can kill your yeast or the salt can control the growth of the yeast and give the flavor. Okay. Squid ink. Now I understand that maybe some of you have an allergic of squid ink. If you don't want to keep squid ink, you can change it with pesto, sun-dried tomatoes, or turmeric, or skip it completely. That's fine, right? The next one is olive oil. Focaccia without olive oil is not a focaccia. Agree?
Yes.
Okay. Now let's begin. Okay. I will add first the water. Okay. The yeast and the honey. Alright. Keep it up. I'll mix it. Mix until the yeast dissolves. Why I put the water first? Because we're gonna use a hook attachment. When I add the flour first, it won't catch. It's very difficult. So better to use a liquid first. Okay, now I put the flour, onion, salt, and squid. There you go. Now, thank you, Shana. Let's do the machine. Today, I'll make with a machine. So if you don't have a machine at home, you can do a little bit exercise doing kneading by hand. That's okay. Right? You should get on. Sorry. It's on. There you go. Thank you, Sana. It's on. Good. Now we need to keep it more or less 8 minutes. Okay, until the dough all combined. If you see that it's very slacky dough, don't worry about it. Just give more time. Right. I put first in the low speed. Yeah, the second one I put medium. If I put the big higher speed in the first, the flour will pass to your feet. So start it slowly. Okay. Now, okay, we will wait for them. Yeah, focaccia is very soft dough, so you don't need to add more water and then add more flour. That's okay. The types of dough is different in every steps of bread. Okay. Now, when it's combined together, like this, remove first. There you go. Yeah, and I add the oil. Okay. Right. Open it again. Okay. We need to knead them approximately 8 minutes. Yeah. And then we need to check the develop of the gluten. How are we gonna check them? By doing window test panel. Okay. We don't have 8 minutes for now. I already prepared for you. Yeah, my son can help me. Okay. This is how you check the window test. Okay. Add a bit of oil in the fingertips. Sorry, and then stretch them out. You see that? It's very thin. Okay. Then after that, remove completely and make a soft ball. Why we need to tuck them completely? Because it helps the yeast to grow evenly. Yeah. Oh, see, nice and smooth dough. Right. Then after this, we need to put a little bit of oil so it won't skinny Yeah, it won't tear the skin. It won't stick on your board. Okay, we will do a clean film. Now, after this, we need to do what's a proving. Okay, I'll explain to you what is a proving. Proving is when you keep the dough rest for 3 or 5 hours in a room temperature. Yeah. Remember, the timing in here is only a guideline.
Sally, can we ask
Yes,
them a
Mrs.
question
Anna?
about? Can we ask them a question about the dough before you go to the proving?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. So why is it important to develop gluten when making a bread dough? Okay, so you have 100% to say that gluten provides structure to the bread. Excellent. They have been listening to you indeed.
They know. Yes. Okay. Well done, everyone. Okay. Now, in my bread today, we call it overnight sweetening focaccia. Why is that? Because I do a low fermentation, yeah, with 4 degrees Celsius, which is in the fridge. That's why after the first proving, can you get it for me, Sana? First proving is around 3 to 4 hours. You see that? It's bubbling it up. Means your dough and your yeast is healthy. Okay? Now, I will do what we call first stretch and fold, or what we call a lamination. I will mix a bit with water. Yeah, I'm not using any flour in here. Flour make you do more tougher, so I like to use only water. Okay? Okay, dump it all. Alright? Stretch. Yeah, look at that. Look at the gluten. Right. See, 1/3, 1/3, roll, roll. Okay. Try them again. And then off to chiller for 12 hours at least inside the refrigerator. Okay. Why I use a stretch and fold before I shake them? Because to get rid of the bubble, you see that a lot of bubble before that, and then to stretch back to check the gluten develop, and then redistribute the yeast. The yeast can grow more rapidly by eating the sugar from the starch. Okay, this is what happened after 12 hours inside. Look at that, it's almost triple the size. Now, I will do one more stretch and fold. Oh, very cool. Super cool. I miss again. Madam again, look at the bubble. Whoops. You know, making bread also releasing stress, right, Sana?
Yeah. Very true.
Right. We'll do one more. 1/3, 1/3, roll, roll. Now, this time we don't put it here. We put in the ring. Okay. Now look at it. This is very nice ring that Sana prepared for me, but I'm gonna teach you how to do it. Okay. You have. I wash my hand first. All right. Cut your paper the same with your aluminum foil. Put your rings in the middle and fold and fold, fold and fold until the end. See? That's it. Right. Like so. Alright? Now it's time for you to another rest. We call it the third proofing. Okay? Until you again double the size. Remember, the timing is only a roughly guideline. Then first. Okay, Shana is ready. Yeah. See, it's again triple in size. Alright. There you go. I hope you can see it. Yes. And then it's time for me to decorate. Now, the secret to make a nice focaccia, fluffy and soft bread is in this bowl. Thank you, sir. 1 part of water, 1 part of olive oil. Yeah, mix it up. Before we add that condiments, right? Now, you know why I make this focaccia? Because I love black. Black is good. Oops. Now I add some red, so cherry tomatoes, or you can use olive if you want, black olive, yellow olive, or if you like spicy, you can have jalapeno. Okay? See, decorate them nicely. See, look at that. The yeast is grown more evenly, not like before, uneven. Okay, that's enough. Okay, now after this, again you need to wait. We already disturbed them by putting all the ingredients, the toppings, yeah? And now we rest them again, about 1 hour at least, yeah, in the room temperature. We have ready here. Don't worry, we will not wait until 1 hour.
Sally? Sally?
Yes, Ishanaz. Yes.
You magically gone through 3 provings in a few minutes. So
Yeah.
can you do a quick sum up of the dough itself, the kneading process, and the 3 provings, just like a sum up?
Okay, the first proving we call it bulk fermentation. It's about 3 to 5 hours until they are double the size. Okay, after they are double the size, we don't do the second proving yet. We need to do the stretch and fold first. After you do stretch and fold, put it back again into the bowl. That bowl straight away goes into your chiller for 12 hours. That's why we call it overnight or cold fermentation. After from the chillers, remove out again. We do stretch and fold before we put them into the ring. Okay, Mishanas?
That's good, Sally. Shall we ask them another question before we go forward to the baking?
Yes, why not? Let's see.
Okay, so I put out the question for them, and just give me a moment.
Sure.
I'm moving myself around a bit. Okay, so the question is, how does slow cold fermentation help? And everyone, no, they are buried on this. Okay. The texture and flavor of the bread are enhanced. 75% say, Sally, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay. The texture and flavor of the bread are enhanced. Yes. Most of the people have got that right. Yes. And the 23% who got the air bubbles are of even size. In fact, actually, when you do all these long fermentation processes, you will get air bubbles of different sizes, and you will get some really big air bubbles too. And I would like to add, from a nutritional perspective, I'd like to add a little bit about slow cold fermentation. Now, gluten is made up of 2 proteins, glutenin and gliadin. It is gliadin that causes the gluten intolerance that people have. And if you are mildly gluten allergic, then slow cold fermented doughs are very good for you, because the gliadin is digested by the yeast, is broken down due to the long process, and it's more easily digested by you.
Yes, correct, Mishana. It's easy and safety for your tummy. Yes. All right. Now, let's begin. Before we bake them, if you see that your dough is already proof and triple in size, preheat your oven before you put them. Okay? And then, after that, put your sea salt. There you go. All right. Now, ready to bake. Go. Thank you. Now, in FOCACCIA, our oven is superb. Very high technology. We have what we call steamer. Yeah. Steamer is a water injection. Now, if you don't have at home, you can add a small aluminum cup. Put a hot water. Remember, hot water. Do not put the cold water. Sanat, can you help me? Put a little bit of warm hot water. That's it. Yeah? And add them in your baking near your bread. It will create steam by itself. Easy? Yeah? Now, after 10 minutes, we remove them from the oven. Who doesn't like cheese? I love cheese. So I'm going to add mozzarella. Yeah? After 10 minutes, we add mozzarella and go back again to bake another 5 minutes. Why I'm not putting the cheese now? Because it will be burned. Okay? That's it. Again, time is only a rough guidelines. Okay, you know your oven better. Okay? And now, how I check if my bread is done or not? By checking them. Press them on the top. If it's bounced back, it's ready to serve. Okay? That's it. Now,
Chef Sally,
yes.
before we show them the ready focaccia, can we just do a few question and answers for all the questions that people have asked us? I've answered a few, but I have a few for you. So Navida wants to know, what temperature should the flour and water be when you start the kneading process?
The water temperature needs to be a cold water, 21 degrees, 27, not the warm water. Okay, and the flour also same room temperature. It's the best.
When I was young and I learned to bake, one of the mistakes I used to do was I used to use warm water to make my bread. And I didn't realize that I used to kill my yeast before the process started. And then of course I blamed the yeast. It was always the yeast that was dead or wrong or something. Anyway, the next question is, when adding squid ink, this is by Amber, your student Amber. So she says yes, when you add squid ink, will the flavor of the focaccia change? She wants to know.
The flavor will not get changed. But why I add squid ink is only because of the color. Yeah, like if you're afraid that it will smell fishy, it's the same like you cook squid cutlets. Yeah, you think that it will smell fishy, but after you cook, you don't feel anything, you don't smell anything. It's the same when you add into your bread. Yeah.
Okay, and I have actually tasted Chef Sally's trials, and the bread doesn't taste fishy at all. If the other person is not allergic to seafood, you can pass it off as black colored bread. Yes, okay. So I'd also like to ask you, Sally. The question I was going to ask Chef Sally was, what is the recommended amount of gluten? What is the recommended amount of gluten in the bread flour to make a focaccia? I think you mentioned it.
The gluten. Yes. Every other bread class I try to explain to them because it's very difficult to get bread flour at your groceries. Okay. But what is making me so amazed when first time I came into the Dubai, I checked the gluten inside your all-purpose. It's good enough to make a bread. It's around 9 to 10%. Okay. In my country, Indonesia, what I experience is they really specific the gluten. They sell it freely in all the groceries. Okay. For 8% below, you can use them for your cake, you can use them for your cookies or any other function. But the bread flour, 8% above, you can use them to make a bread. Okay? And there is a more higher percent of bread flour, normally 12 to 14. Please don't use that kind of bread flour for your, a soft bread. Yeah? You can use the higher percent of your gluten when you make a really tough and chewy bread, such as a baguette, sourdough, or even a croissant. Okay, so your all-purpose flour that you can find in UAE, you can use them as a bread flour. All right, is that help?
Perfect, done.
Yeah. All right.
And any brand,
Halfway
any
done.
brand is fine.
Any brand is fine. Let's go first. All right.
Yeah.
Careful, son. This is halfway. I will add the cheese. Sanat is very helpful, yeah? What else? Handsome, talented.
Thank you, Chef.
Single lady, come on, come to ICC.
I'm blushing
Still
now.
available. Good. Now, wait another 5 minutes. Yeah, if you cannot wait, I already prepared ready to eat for you. Okay. Sanat, okay. Get it to me. Okay. I use my hand gloves to cut. Voila. This is done. Now remember, I'll explain to you what is the best condiments to eat your bread, so your bread can, can taste even better. Yeah. We have, of course, olive oil. We have balsamic vinegar, and then we have pesto. Pesto is a paste that you make from pine nuts. Again, if you're allergic, please don't use them. Cheese and basil. Now I cut them. There you go. You see that? The crumbs is even. Yeah. If you don't have fatties of crumbs, you're not a good baker.
Yeah.
All right. Good. Now we have time, Mishanas, to have a summary. Is it okay?
Yes, Chef Sally, please go ahead. Go ahead. We have time.
Okay. Okay. First, I'll introduce already what is the ingredient that's important to make a bread. Second one, how to knead them properly. How you check your window test, your gluten develop. Yeah. The third one, proving. Again, one more time. The first proving need to 3 to 5 hours in the room temperature. As in here in ICCA, again, we have a very good technology. Okay, we have a proving box. It maintains 30 degrees, so we don't need to reach any 3 or 5 hours. Yeah, we need in the class normally we done 1 hour.
1 hour.
Yeah, and then after that we move. We will do first stretch and fold. Go back again to your bowl. Keep it in your fridge. After tomorrow, remove from the fridge. 1 more stretch and fold, and then we put in the ring. Keep it 1 hour. Decorate them. Another 1 hour. Then bake them. Remember, bake with steam. It's a must because you need to have a nasty crust on your bread. All right. That's it. Okay, Mishanas. I'm done here. Well, thank you for being with us. Yeah.
Thank you.
The
Thank you so
recipe
much.
has been shared with you. Go ahead, make the recipe and serve it with your family. Hope you learned something new in this season. See you next week.
Next
Same
Saturday.
time, same place. Okay?
Thank you, Sally. I've been so distracted with answering all the questions. I haven't been paying attention to what you're saying. Anyway, as I've also been tasting your trials, I can vouch that this focaccia smells and tastes lovely and delicious. But if you are not a seafood fan, then do try this recipe without the squid ink and turn this online experience into a hands-on one. Seeing is believing and feeling is knowing. Do try it out and look forward to your attendance on next Saturday to watch Chef Sally make her next amazing product. But in the meantime, I would also like to invite you to our next webinar on Sunday on making delicious and juicy kebabs with different marinades with Chef Adam. I will hand over to Karun now because I might be taking away a few of his parting lines in my farewell. Thank you and bye-bye.
I think we're back on for this session. And just while Chef Sally was doing her demonstration, I was keen on to do some research on squid ink. And I found out that it is much enjoyed by the Italians, and squid ink is used in risotto, in spaghetti and soups, etc. And all this time, I just thought it was just used as a fancy name. So something and an interesting fact to know. Thank you for that, Chef Sally. For those who have joined us a little late, an email will soon follow with the replay video of this webinar together with the handouts as well. And lastly, of course, please do recreate the Squid ink Foccacia and share them on your social media platforms by tagging at ICA Dubai, and we will have them reshared on our social media platforms as well. Until then, goodbye from all of us here.